Read this one, that's right.
Yeah.
Tim, can you hear us?
Wow.
There
There it is.
Here.
Hi, Tim. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, it's 6:30. It's 6:30, November 4th, not 40th.
I saw that.
Oh.
I just noticed that. 2025, and this is the monthly meeting of North Hero Parks and Recreation Committee. We'll introduce ourselves for the recording. Jean Metherall, Chair.
Evan Meenan, member.
Bernie Scutel, member.
Scott Sainsbury, member.
Bonnie Cody, member.
Tim O'Reilly, member. John Scutel, member. Tim Bourne, Select Board.
And I think the only one we're missing, we're expecting is Mary Jo. Let me just double check she's not. No, no more participants. Okay. Any adjustments to the agenda? Okay, Bonnie distributed the minutes from the September meeting. Any comments before we approve? Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Is that, wait, the October? Is it the October? meeting?
No, the September.
Oh, the September one? What about the?
Oh,
Go.
October.
Good pickup, yeah.
I thought I was losing it for a minute. It's like, wait a minute.
What month am
Wait a
I
minute.
in?
It is November, right?
All right, any other comments?
I'm gonna recuse myself. I wasn't here.
Okay.
Same meeting.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, those are approved. No visitors, no public comment. Moving right on to park history. So there's been we had some discussion about hunting, about what's going on within the parks related to safety. And we've had we'll get to that part a little bit later. But part of the discussion has happened with the select board related to the hunting. And one of the questions that we've got was, what does the deed say for Ingalls, for example? So if we were to post Ingalls, or if we were to close Ingalls for school, what did the deed say we could or couldn't do? So I've been doing a little bit of research. There's more to be done, but the deed says nothing
Right.
about it for Ingalls. And there's no real deed that anybody's found for P-lots. It's too old. Nor could I find anything yet for the footpath, but there must be a release from the railroad from the 60s, 50s and 60s. So still need to research that, but there's really nothing in there that says what we can and can't do. So around 2000, there was activity within the town to actually define by using permits, conditional use permits, what the two parks would become. And this is when they were being turned into parks versus just empty lots. And so around 2001, the permit came out for Ingalls, and it was a year or two later, P-lots did. This is when they were cutting trails and doing all that work for the initial work to make it into a park. So I distributed the copies of the permit by email, just as an FYI.
Yeah.
I'm not understanding, maybe you understand, if we have a permit from 25 years ago, is that what dictates what happens in this park now if no other permit is that? I don't even know what the rules are there. I think there needs to be a little bit more research in that.
Yeah, I mean, generally you would look to the deed. Or any other type of land record, like if there happened to be an easement or something like that. And then you would look to any permits that are in existence and then any municipal regulations governing like the land use for whatever zoning district it's in.
So
If all
the,
of those are silent, then I would assume that the town would be able to post it against hunting just like any other private landowner.
so those are still live, shall we say? Those permits are still live, even though they're 24 years old, and they may or may not be applicable in today. In other words, I'm not sure if they would do a conditional use permit in this day and age for this type of definition for the park, but
Yeah, I mean, I think they would still, I mean, even though
You'd
they're
still do
25 years, yeah, they would still.
Still do it,
yeah,
okay.
govern, you know, yeah, govern what you can do. But I didn't see anything in there that said you can't, like it would be. Like you have to let it be open for hunting. I didn't. I didn't
No,
think
it
that was a
actually, in
couple
the
of days.
Ingalls one that
Yeah.
says no hunting
Yeah.
allowed, it's very specifically called out, but it is not in P lots. It definitely says you can hunt in
Yeah,
P
right.
lots. But that should be, I guess,
But it's
what
also-
I'm saying, this becomes the basis of how we should be operating in there, right? As far as what, because one of the comments from the select, Harry, was that I think it was during the pickleball discussion for down there was a lot of discussion about what could or couldn't be done, but I'm not sure if this permit was even referenced when that discussion happened.
It was.
Was?
Yeah, the conditional use was brought up,
Okay,
that we were awarded and the way it was deeded over to the town to be, for recreation in perpetuity, the grant,
so we have to look that up because the state had the town buy the property and then reimbursed.
right,
So it's not in the deed.
okay.
So there must be some grant out there that defines that, but it's not in the
It was a
deed.
grant. It was-
Okay.
it was
Yeah,
a grant,
yeah.
right?
But we'll have to dig that up and whether we're under that or not, since it's not part of the deed. You know what I mean?
As far as the hunting goes,
No.
just,
Any,
In general.
anything that was put in place related to the grant didn't get into the deed. So does the grant still hold?
What type of grant are you talking about?
It was a funding grant to purchase a property. It was a
Oh.
federal, I believe,
Okay.
issue.
it was a recreation grant.
Yeah.
I mean, usually, I mean, theoretically it could, but like if we were just talking about like a single family home, for example, you
Mhm.
normally have like a purchase and sale contract and then you would have the deed. At the time the deed is executed, all of like the purchase and sale contract basically gets subsumed and replaced so that the operative
Is the
is
deed.
the deed.
Well, so the town went out and purchased it and then
Yeah.
got reimbursed
Reimbursed,
for
yeah.
it. So it's not in the deed.
Right,
There's nothing in the deed for that. So that's why I didn't know
yeah,
what we're being held to, I guess is what I'm trying to get to the bottom to.
So there is this conditional use document.
Right.
That came later.
They came later.
and what we're trying to accomplish is restricting hunting, right? That's.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the permit says there can't be any hunting.
correct.
But I don't remember though, because it's been a couple of days since I looked at that permit. Did it also include the portion of the land that belongs to, what's the entity again? that leads
Oh,
down
no.
to the-
No.
No,
No.
that's the
that's
thing.
not.
They're the ones that you can hunt.
You
right?
can
Okay,
hunt.
Yeah,
And, and it was that you can carry a firearm through angles, but it has to be unloaded.
right. Yeah, and then load once you
You
get there. Yeah, and that's what the signage did say, right? But we clarified it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
But
then
I-
what's the question now?
So
Whether or
the
not we're gonna
biggest-
actually
well, the
do, like,
reason I'm-
officially post it?
Well, we were
Yeah.
gonna talk about that a little later. What I'm trying to get to right now is we have to live by these, right?
Mhm.
Is this what we want to live by? I guess it's 25 years old. Is this something we should be relooking at or is this? So if you look,
There are conditions and situations in these that we aren't.
that we aren't
necessarily
doing, that's
So
my
it's
whole,
probably a good idea to have a task force. You know, look it over and talk about compliance or not compliance.
right, that's my concern.
And
Right
what would
there.
you create then, if you wanted to have something other than the conditional?
So no, technically we should be, well, in my mind, we should be following it to the letter, right? And we're not,
Mhm.
because
We
it's
either
been
get
handed
one-
over. So we either have to get in line or, or update it.
Yeah, I mean, what I was looking mostly at the hunting bit. What are we not following?
Oh, there were.
There's a lot of,
Yeah.
Oh,
there were
really?
other things
Yeah.
there.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry. I read it once and I just.
well, I'll give you an example of our P lots. We're supposed to have safety zones around the houses
Right.
that are nearby.
And we don't have those posted.
Hmm?
They're not posted.
They're not posted.
And who's responsible is that? Is that the?
It's ours because it's our
Ours or
property.
the,
On
that
that
go-
thing is ours because it's on our property.
Yeah.
So there's things like that
yeah,
in
and,
there.
and theoretically, if we're not gonna allow hunting at angles, it should be posted. Any unposted property, you can go
Yeah, for example, at Ingalls, maybe it's Pilates, 3 signs are allowed. You know, we've got a lot more than 3 signs, so, you know, there are just some little things that we could go back. and-
So if we're, I guess my point is if we rely on it for one thing, we can't ignore other pieces of it, right? So I think we need to do something here as far as at least evaluate these conditional use and see what we want to do about it, whether we want to comply or we want to update or whatever. Anyone have any other thoughts?
I think we should look into it.
Anybody?
It'll be a
interested?
process.
It will be, yeah. Anyone interested in taking this on?
Good if we had an attorney on.
Oh,
I mean, I'm happy, I was thinking like it'd be good to spend, like, we have like a pretty like itemized agenda with lots of different topics. But some of these larger things, part of me thinks like, let's just do one meeting, just
Yeah.
that,
that's fine.
right?
We can
Because then
clear-
that way what we can do is, you know, because I mean, I have been to the parks and I've been to several of these meetings, but I think it would be helpful for the group to come up with, you know, how is it currently being used? And what do we want to use it for? And then once we have that, it's a much easier exercise to compare it to the permit and say, okay, well, then these are the changes that need to be made.
well, we
And then
can,
we can just go get like a, you know, a permit amendment.
well, we can, have special meetings. We can call special meetings.
Okay.
It's hard for me not to have a regular monthly meeting because so much stuff is happening. I need people approvals for,
Sure.
purchases and stuff, so it's hard for me anyway, not to
Yeah.
have a regular meeting. But we can call a special meeting as long as it's warned and
Yeah.
it's public
Mhm,
and have that discussion in the open.
right,
And to your point, you know, we wrote that sort of 5-year plan,
yeah,
and it says a lot about how we intend to use these properties and so on. And it would be really interesting to put those 2 documents together.
yeah, and that was a pretty specific plan. I mean, what I would always try and do when I would help people get permits is keep the permit, usually try and keep the permit language flexible.
Yeah.
Right? You know, because that plan was pretty specific, and the more specific you get, the easier it is to start coloring outside the lines,
Mhm.
you know?
Right.
Whereas if it's, you know, for example, where it says 3 signs, you know, it should say, it could say something like, there shall be signage, visible signage that says blank, rather than there has to be 3 signs of this dimension posted in these specific locations, because then you're really locked in.
I would think that the permit, we should allow some flexibility.
Yeah.
The plan we can be tighter with,
Yes.
so that would really direct our money flow and our
Yeah.
activities and stuff.
Yeah.
And the permit gives some breathing room to
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so what does everyone think? Can of worms, did I open up here?
Well, it is, in a sense, but I think it's a process that I think, we're overdue for.
It's 25 years roughly, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, would you want to do a special meeting to do that? I don't think it's emergency here,
No, I don't think so.
so
Is
maybe
there one
in,
meeting that doesn't have a lot of other?
so a lot of this stuff I need
It's-
to
it's
get
not-
updates on or need to. So
I think a special meeting is important.
I think it would be too.
It'd be
Then we
good
can really
To do it
focus,
like
in
in
January.
January
February.
after the budget stuff and all.
Yeah,
February, yeah.
January, February, okay.
And Gene, what do you think about asking, you know, a small group of people to look through it in preparation for that meeting?
I think that'd be a good idea so that we're well versed, at least several people are well versed in everything.
Yeah, so we're not going through everything, you know, we could get it down to a list of, here, I think we're only non-compliant. You know, that sort of thing.
Which brings up, and then do we need to have one for the footpath too, a permit for the footpaths? So I need to dig in to see where the
Yeah,
railroad released that back to the town and get that deed information on that too.
maybe-
Yeah, I mean, there may not be a need for a permit. I mean, there really
Right.
aren't a lot of improvements
Right.
right there, or at least ones that are permanently affixed to
For
the
mowing
ground.
and cutting, and that's pretty much
Right.
it, and put a couple picnic tables and signs there.
Yeah, there might
Right.
not be a need.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
There may not be, we know it's an 80-foot wide easement. So,
So what are you proposing then? Have a,
Yeah, a little small task force in preparation for. the
Okay.
Special meeting.
sounds good?
Yeah, I can take, and I can, regardless of whether or not I'm on that or not, I'm happy to take a closer look. I was really just looking at the
Yeah.
hunting piece. And I was like, oh, okay, no hunting. We said that already. We're in good shape. But yeah,
All right, would anyone want to be involved?
I can be on it if it's from Florida, and that's all right.
Yeah.
I'm leaving, December 1 for 6 months.
It just has to be under, we have to have under a quorum, so 4.
I could do it.
I can do it also.
John?
You have to make
So
a
I
motion to hold a special meeting now or later?
What's that?
Do you need to have, make a motion to hold the meeting?
No, we can do that. I think I might be able to just call that. I'll look at the
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah, I think so.
I might be able to just call that.
Evan, do you want to be on that?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, so I have Tim, Scott, Evan and John are gonna be the task force to prepare. I've got a little bit more information I can feed you.
Yeah.
For
Sure.
like the deed, I have a copy of the deed and some of the. I have copies of some of the minutes where these permits were being discussed. So it kind of gives a flavor for how they got to the permit. I got some of those
Sure.
pictured too, so.
I would think a couple of reasonably short meetings, we ought to be able to get it done. You know.
And maybe we target mid-January or something.
Yeah. And,
Great,
and,
I
and
said
there
February.
was that email from Mike Murdoch,
Oh,
basically he had history about Pilots anyway, and some about Ingalls, I think. And he said he'd be willing to share that.
That'd be great.
and that would be good.
Yeah.
Okay, anything on this we'll get back to the hunting in a few minutes, but anything else on this topic? Okay, moving on to P-lots. The boardwalk rerouting. So. I've walked it with Scott, walked it with John. I know Scott and Tim walked it. We have 3 options that we're kind of talking about, and I don't know if I can do this very well. One option is to, starting at the east side of the boardwalk, you go kind of straight out to the railroad and then run along the railroad bed and rejoin that boardwalk up near the field. Makes sense, right? That's one option. Second option I heard was we would cut out that whole section altogether, and I think, Scott, you were suggesting instead just have people use the cathedral loop and then cut a path back over to the railroad
Right.
there.
Right.
And then the third option that we ended up with is to actually start where the boardwalk starts on the east, cut a little bit south, so you're going up a little bit and head right to basically where the
Where that
culvert
stone-
is.
The old stone
Yeah,
culvert
that culvert
is.
right there.
And then putting stairs
And
up.
putting a
And then jump
galvanized,
on the path
a
there.
galvanized set of stairs.
It's what you and I looked at, but what we looked at first.
Then just
Right.
climb stairs and go right up.
And
there.
go right up. Because that loop, and that kind of dawned on us when we were we walked the whole thing, we're looking at trying to bring that trail along the railroad bed where you're like,
Yeah,
most of it's like 20 or 30 feet.
Mhm.
And then it gets shallow, it's only about 15 feet, I think, at the culvert
Mhm.
area.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of walking back that way and said, well, why don't we just put a set of stairs down?
Mhm.
And rather than rather than cutting stairs into the bank or making a set of wooden stairs that you'd have to maintain, you get a set of galvanized stairs that would sit
Sit
there.
right
and-
in there.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
dock.
the dock
stairs.
doctors,
Sure,
yeah.
sure. And would you reconnect it back to the field?
Yeah, well, then from there, you can kind of walk across, that's above the wet area.
Yeah.
and up over that little knoll that comes back and you connect back into the field. And Gene's comment was that, well, you know, people use that upper field because you can see the ospreys there. And I said, well, that's fine, we'll just create another loop, that's a little offshoot loop.
And we'd only have
Just
to
as a loop, it doesn't.
It
continue.
doesn't
just-
connect
it
anything,
would
it's just
just
a
need
loop
to
in that field.
mow too. If you, it's just a field, we just need to mow around that.
Yeah, just.
Looking at you, Tim.
Well, so that, you know, people can use that loop to look at, you know, the
I think
nest.
that's a
and-
good option.
Good place for a bench?
Huh?
Would it be a good place?
Oh,
Would be a
on top
great
of
place
that
for a
knoll,
bench,
yeah, yeah.
It's interesting. So do we lose any of the northern part of the nature area?
I don't think so, because we'd connect back to the trail right where the boardwalk ends.
Yeah,
You know, right in the bay, at that field.
so right now, it
You-
goes on down through that field. Right?
Yeah,
We lose it, we lose that.
I don't think you'd lose any of that.
No?
You just lose the boardwalk. The upper field, you still can do a loop there.
Yeah,
So you'd want to mow more of a loop and.
Instead of
not a
just
dead
coming-
end.
yeah. It would just be a loop that would
Coming
go along
back.
the edge of the woods and back up.
Yeah.
One advantage of that, or the one that goes to the cathedral, is that there's absolutely no permit issue here. The one that runs along the
Sure.
railroad bed is in the protection section for the wetlands, and so we'd have to check to see if we would require anything for a permit in that, but it does bring us back into the space where the state might be interested.
And also, that's quite a long run. to
Yeah,
Come down along the railroad bed, down
the
low,
base, the base. of
and
the
then
railroad.
go around, so that's gonna be fairly expensive.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that would be almost as expensive as doing the boardwalk,
so
so.
I'm trying to understand. When you're talking about doing a loop, are you talking about at the far north end where you enter now
Yes,
and just make that meadow?
that, just that upper meadow
And
would
walk
be
down
just
the
a loop,
railroad.
yeah.
And
We
go-
follow along the tree line down below and then just keep coming back up.
Yeah.
Lower than the current path and then reconnect.
That would be the one option, yeah,
Yeah.
which is, I think, an expensive option, and you gotta take a lot of trees out.
But if you do the steps,
Oh,
then that meadow down there becomes its own little loop.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Okay, because it's very, I know, here I am speaking for the birders.
Oh, yeah, but that,
meadow's
and that
very
was,
secure.
yes.
So,
But yeah, you wouldn't lose that, that'd become its own little loop,
Gotcha,
that can be a little offshoot.
And there'd be hardly anything to do down there other than the mowing.
right,
So the work would really be the stairs back over to the east side of the,
yeah,
And just a
Yeah.
little bit of clearing, I don't even think we need to take any trees out, we're just establishing a little trail.
I think the
Go.
stairs are a great idea because you do see tracks of people cutting off
Yeah,
the railroad bed because they don't want to walk around. They'll shoot down through and if you give them a set of stairs, I think it'd work out.
no, the only thing is, there's water that runs through there in the spring. And we were looking at maybe channeling some of that
Yeah.
or raising the trail up a little bit with a culvert or a couple culverts or something like that to channel the water through.
I think just as long as the water can sheet, I mean, it doesn't flood there, but just
Right.
as long as we could sheet, I mean, if we're, you know, up a foot or something, I
Yeah.
bet we're okay.
Mm-hmm,
Would gravel help that,
yeah, stone,
what they did in?
Yeah.
Texas?
Yeah.
Chad did it in,
similar to what he just did at
Yeah.
Amos,
raise the level of that.
yeah.
I think any of it's a great idea to reroute instead of try and rebuild the boardwalk.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it.
Yeah, I'm thinking of maintenance, from a maintenance
I
standpoint.
mean, maybe in the spring when the water's high, take another look at it to see,
Yeah,
you know,
Right.
how high and how wet it is.
On the upper section.
Yeah.
yeah, so if you put gravel in, like Gene was talking about, you could have a gravel path could come along and you could have a big stone and a big stone. And a little more gravel and a big stone, and a big stone with just step across
Yeah,
spots that just let the
Yeah.
water.
Yep.
you know, Sheet through those
Yeah.
places.
And that's fairly simple to.
Yeah.
So I guess. I don't know if everyone's ready to make a decision, but I think the next phase is to look at that a little bit more in depth and start seeing what that would look like for costs and time and stuff like that. Obviously, we can't do it till next year, but start building a plan to do that.
Yeah, I would say we just, kind of think, okay, this is the direction we want to go in. And in the spring, take another look at it
Right.
and see what the water flow is like through that upper area.
Especially if you can accomplish it through the stepping stones rather than a culvert where you're
Yeah,
channelizing the water and just,
Right.
that's
yeah.
never preferable.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah, and so see how much water there is and
Yeah.
what, what that would involve. And then just come up with a plan
Yeah.
in the spring,
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
because I think. I think the boardwalk will survive another season, but not much more.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Could we say that we want to target for completion by August next year or
Or fall next year.
set some date so we've got a sense of.
So
We want to get this done.
the other big projects that we have is those steep areas, right, in P lots. We've been talking about doing something to either level them or whatever. I think there's 3 areas we've been talking about too. We had put money in the budget this year for that.
Yeah.
So do we want to delay that and do this? You don't have to answer today.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Let's revisit that whole scenario in the
Oh,
spring. And we can look at it identify those areas, maybe go out there with some stakes and say, okay, these are the areas. where-
Well, it's the big
Yeah.
steep one and
The
then.
big one going up.
And then the back one in the most southeast corner there, that one. And then, the other one is fairly simple, but it's the leading up to the railroad bed as you're coming down from the parking lot.
Mhm.
That whole section is muddy and wet before you get up onto the
Mhm.
railroad bed,
Mhm.
taking care of that section. So those were the 3 sections we had been talking about.
But, we put money in, but we really didn't have a design.
No, we didn't. No, but you have to put money in so many months in
How
advance.
much did we put in, Gene? I forgot.
It's $4,500.
Yeah, I think it's around
Sorry?
$4,500.
$4,500.
Oh, that much.
Mhm.
I was gonna say, maybe we could allocate that to design and materials in this year's budget. And then, for next year's budget to.
Rather than carry it over, yeah, because we'd have to
Yeah.
use that before June. right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
And that's something we could talk to Chad about, because he's gonna be in there in the spring. doing
he's
the
gonna
sugaring.
finish the
He's
railroad
gonna
bed
finish the
too.
railroad Bed section, so we can, look at it, even later this fall, I'll have some time coming up, and if anybody else wants to
good,
take a walk in there and kind of think about what we can do.
yeah,
Purchase the stairs this season too.
right,
Well, the stairs aren't budgeted in this
This
budget,
okay.
so we don't have to do that before June. Unless
Unless
we
we
wanted
wanna
to use
s-
that money.
Unless we want to switch the projects.
Right.
yeah. So going in this fall would be great, because we could report back, make a decision on how you wanna use that
Yeah.
$4,500.
Whether we wanted to
Yeah.
order the stairs,
Yeah,
get doctors there, get an estimate for the stairs, because they'll install
right, well,
Yeah.
So, one more question. I wouldn't even bring this up, but the grant is open from the state. And I know it's been very difficult, well, I know it's been very difficult for us to get any money with like 6 out of 53, but we're given a priority this year. 21 towns in the state are far enough away from existing or previous projects that they've done in the last 15 years, and so we're given a bumped up bonus point in the point system that they use to evaluate grants. So I don't know if it's worth, but it wouldn't be until next fall at the earliest that we could start, if they got it. There were 39 people on the call the other day, so I'm assuming there's at least 50 people still applying, so I think our odds, even though we've got added bonus points, I think our odds are pretty
Is
slim.
it worth the effort to do it? I'm asking you because you're doing it.
Well, it's like 60 to 80 hours
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
to put one of these things together.
What are their other focus? Isn't their focus mostly like accessibility and? It seemed like, cause I was on a call a few years ago and it seemed like it was all about. Things that we're not
Well,
focused on.
this one is specifically for trails,
Okay.
either multi-use, motorized, and we classify as multi-use because you can snowshoe on them too, right? So we're classified, and then they also have motorized ones, single use, multi-use and motorized one, and they divide that up. So it's very specific to trails. But they've also opened up some of that funding to previous grant winners who now have run out of money too. So it's 39 people on the call, that's all. There's probably enough for 6 people.
I guess my thought was just I think you can spend your time
Better.
better in other areas and maybe just helping to plan the stuff we want to do here.
That's fine with me.
Yeah.
That's fine with me.
Maybe higher likely return ways of raising some money. To help us out with things like this if we need to.
They have a little something on it, and we can talk about it when we. come
Yeah.
to it. Okay, a little bit.
Okay, well, sounds like a plan.
Okay,
So do we want to put in the minutes that we're going to take a look at it
This fall,
this fall? Then come back early winter with a recommendation on how to spend the $4,500 for this year.
mhm. Do we want to set a date for that at this point, or do we'll just communicate?
Yeah, for going for a walk,
Yeah,
probably between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
probably, yeah,
Yeah.
can I go with you?
Yeah,
please.
no.
It's a
It was
guy.
boy thing.
Donuts or?
Okay, anything else with this?
Great.
All right, as part of some of the discussion Mike Murdoch had, he recommended a practice called hinge cutting.
Yeah, and it was pretty interesting. You know, I looked it up. There's a lot of information on it, and it is a practice that's used not necessarily in lieu of deer exclusion areas, but in conjunction with. So the procedure is, and apparently the deer like to browse on ash trees, and we have a problem with our ash trees. So you partially, you cut the tree so it falls, but you leave the hinge, the bark and everything. So the tree continues to grow even though it's down, and we've seen this all in the woods
Yep.
from windfall and everything else. So that it continues to leaf out and to grow for a few years. And it brings that browse down so the deer can
That's pretty interesting.
get that browse, and that it's easy for them and they don't bother the other stuff.
Yeah.
And it opens up the canopy.
And it opens the canopy up for the new trees, so.
Yeah.
And you know, the fact that, you know, the deer like the ash tree buds is because we have the problem with, we're losing our ash trees, so let's be proactive.
Yeah.
So it was interesting, you can, there's a lot of information on the internet about it, so.
Very good.
I'm wondering if,
And at first I thought they're talking about just little saplings, but no, they're cutting
trees.
big trees.
And you can maintain the hinge still and get the tree down.
Yeah, you know, there are some cutting techniques that, you know, I remember that you don't have to, you know.
Cut all the way through.
Yeah, you don't cut all the way through, you don't make the notch,
Yeah.
and you do plunge cuts and, you know, so,
Mm-hmm.
you know, stuff like that, so.
I think that's really interesting.
wondering if it's worth, we have a new forester now. I'm wondering if it's worth bringing somebody in too.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, I don't either now, because they were reconfiguring.
But, Bill Barron might be somebody we could talk to also. He's a forester and um, you know, he was a forester. I don't think he's the official forester anymore, but he's pretty knowledgeable on that stuff. If we can't get the actual forester.
Maybe they could help tell us how to locate or pick trees to do that.
Yeah,
You have to get going, I think, because boy, are those things dying.
yeah. So that was an interesting,
Yeah.
I had never heard of that before.
Makes perfect sense.
All right, just like the blazing for Maple Meander, Terry did get to that. And we had that discussion about the 4 areas for improving water flow. The 4th area is just that little divot, remember, at the north side of the Sugar Bush
Yeah.
Trail, south end, sorry.
So,
That little south divot that we walked
right,
with Audubon that time.
yep,
So,
yeah, I think we talked about maybe just rerouting the trail there,
yeah,
yeah.
just making it go around a little bit, it'll just be maybe. Birding platform, you had brought that up the last time, and then you had mentioned something about maybe getting GMA money for it, so I didn't know whether that was something to pursue, we should be pursuing.
Yeah, so, I'm not gonna name names, because I had a brief conversation with some people who could really help out with that, not financially, but could help with it. If we wanted to build one and maintain one and so on. And they were incredibly enthusiastic on first brush. So I'd have to follow up with them. But basically the idea might be to create a platform that could be broken down into sections and haul it up to the marina in the fall, and they would take it out and store it for us. And then take it back down.
Oh, so a platform out in the water.
Yeah, basically along the shore, out, extending out into the water a little bit. It's like a dock essentially.
Yeah,
Maybe it's, I don't know, off the top of my head, I'm thinking something like 16 by 16 or something like that.
floating?
It could be either floating or we could put some posts in permanently and bring it down and, put it on the posts each year. Or I don't know, I don't have a design in mind yet. But I could definitely see some options. And I know the Audubon people were very enthusiastic about the idea of having some sort of observation thing there, so I wouldn't be surprised if we could go back to them and talk about a grant to help with this project if we wanted to move it forward at some point in time.
No, we still have $1,436,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, we
think,
still some of the money,
yeah,
right,
the,
we added another 5,000 to it, second, I don't need to. That's not on the public record. I just made that number up.
So this platform need to come out in the fall and we put back in the spring.
That's an option. Yeah.
It's an option. Right,
What do you mean, an option?
Well, it depends,
Otherwise it would
if
be the ice would
if
destroy.
you're if you're around 95 feet, then you want to be able to take it out.
Yeah. but. if
You know,
we
there's
make
not a
it-
whole lot of flow back in there, but.
Right, Yeah, if
As
we
far
made
as
it-
ice buildup.
if we made it hit the land a little higher and the far end was on a couple of posts, it could just be a suspended deck that's there all the time, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to move.
do you have to
Different ways we can-
permit for all the time versus?
That's what I wonder, is where we run into.
Temp.
nonsense.
Yeah,
Versus
I'm
10,
just thinking of the Shoreline Protection
Yeah.
Act.
Right,
There's
6
nothing
foot,
that's
6 feet
permanent.
wide.
Right,
yeah,
Here
the
is an
dock you wouldn't
exclusion.
run into. Docks you can put in, take out, right?
Yeah.
right, if you can put it in, take it out.
Well, actually, an access 6 feet wide is excluded,
Yeah,
so
There's a lot of exploration to be
Yeah.
done, but it'd be a really cool.
I don't think it says anything about taking them out and putting them in if it's 6 feet wide.
well, right, but I mean, something like 16 by 16.
Well, that's
Right,
different,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right,
But I would imagine that in sections that bolt together
Mhm.
and float the docks down. bolted together.
Yeah, I'm just wondering though, like even if you had separate pieces that you bolted together that were affixed to the shoreline
Yeah,
that measured 16 by 16, that'd be a pretty easy carve out. You know, people would have lots of boathouses and things if you could just kind of puzzle them together and you took them apart. So I'm just wondering if that would end up triggering it, especially if there was any type of
I don't think
vegetation.
so, cause you can build a dock and add stuff to it.
and the access to the
But people
land,
usually pull those out.
But you pull them out,
Right,
right,
exactly.
yeah.
I'm thinking of the idea of a permanent 16 by 16
That would need a permit.
patio,
That- yeah,
basically.
that would-
On
that-
the waterfront, I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, we
that
probably
would
need
need-
something for
but
that.
if you had a 4 foot wide ramp
Right.
to a floating
Right,
thing that you
that-
took out every year,
That would be probably fine.
then you're probably okay. I don't
Yeah,
know.
aren't you allowed 6 feet wide?
I'm sorry,
I think you're allowed 6 feet
It's
wide
6 feet
access to
wide.
the water, yeah.
but you can build platforms
Yeah, out
out there.
on-
Right.
yeah.
So a thought, and I'll just sort of keep ticking at it if that's
Okay,
okay.
yeah.
you know? Maybe we can figure it out.
Anything else with P-lots? Okay, moving on to Ingalls. So John and I met with Chad and he's already done it. He pulled out the platform and the punch-ins. And then he put gravel down in the wet areas, a couple areas. He did 2 wet areas. Where he built it up probably about this high above the surface, and it's good bulky rock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big chunks of rock.
Yeah, so I would think the water would be able to go
Yeah,
pretty well through, but we'll see in the spring.
Yeah. Great.
yeah, it looks great.
So we were talking maybe about putting a bench out by the vernal pool in the spring, just buying something or
Putting
building
a
something.
stone pad out there and.
Yeah, be nice. huh?
Okay. The railing, thank you, John. is up.
The railing's done, like, we did that yesterday, was that yesterday?
Yeah,
Is the bench something that we should buy with extra money? That we have left over? You said we had money left over, right? Should we buy a bench?
well, we won't have money left over if we're gonna do any of these projects, probably.
But that's something we could do, as we're approaching June.
Yeah,
May, that if we looks like we're gonna have extra money, we can.
yeah.
Purchase a bench.
Yeah, I was looking at them at about $800 to $1,000, 6 foot bench.
Kitchen,
Kitchen is, on the list.
okay. The wood
I'm
chip,
Just getting all my.
the wood chip distribution, right now, there's so many leaves down there that it's really not possible to do this
No.
fall. So we're talking, talked to Terry a little bit about doing it in the spring as part of the cleanup. Tracy from Public Works has a bunch of wood chips that he's willing to give.
Oh,
to
really?
us.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think he has it over at the garage. He was asking if I wanted them now. I said, no, can you bring them in the spring? So they don't
Oh,
pile
good.
up over there. So he said he'll help us out there.
Would we ever wanna put some on some of the trails lots that are so, rutting?
That might be a good idea. See how much it's got.
Especially as all these ash trees come down, there's gonna be so many chips. I mean, it's sad, but. Yeah.
The plumber has closed down Ingalls. And update on the neighboring subdivision, they went for a permit for a wetlands permit, so they have water, they have water sewer, well. They went for a wetlands permit the other day to build a road back to the second house. There's already a road there, they were just expanding upon it, and I think it was just in its public notice phase. I think they should have that permit by now, and I think they're coming back to the Development Review Board in the next week or two. For what may be the final,
How many houses was it?
it's gonna be 2. He got approval for septic for 7. But he doesn't have a road to get him back there, and so I think there's still a few issues with offsets for the road, but that's supposed to be part of the Development Review Board. All right, back to the posting. So do we want to post Ingalls?
Well, I think if we're not gonna allow hunting, it needs to be posted,
All right,
I think too.
you know, if we don't post it, then there's nothing we can do if somebody wants to hunt there.
what's everyone else think?
I think that's technically right.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I mean, what do we do if someone breaks the rules anyway, though? Like, is there a fine system in place in the town? of
No.
Northfield, Or they just get a public scolding or a private
You
scolding?
see them.
Yeah. So,
So
Or do we just, yeah, we haven't had a problem. So,
do we want to wait until next year to do this? I mean, it's already archery season, muzzle loader, part of it was last week.
yeah,
The
I
regular
don't
fee.
think we
The regular.
can get it posted this year, I mean,
Couple locals who have tree stands behind, this.
yeah, not in it.
But they have to go through and.
Yeah, you can still go through,
I
yeah.
get that, I'm just saying that, yes. But countries do.
It's good to clarify where the lines are, you know.
do we know where all of the boundary lines
Oh,
are, like on
yes,
the ground?
yes, we
Yeah,
do.
okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. 'Cause I can staple some posted signs to a tree, but you know, is it the right tree? I don't know.
Well, Yando's got his property posted, which is our north border, so.
I see.
Good, other side of the streets.
So it's just the east border really that we have to.
And
worry
it's
about.
actually not necessarily posted on the property line, it's
So many feet.
so many feet from the property line.
And I think that's something that has to be done. I don't know if it's on an annual
It's,
basis.
I think it's annual and it needs to be registered downstairs.
Yeah, you have to sign and date each sign
Yeah,
every year. Yeah.
All right, so next year?
we'll have an ongoing discussion.
Okay,
Put in the budget line, the role of the signs, and we'll all sit here and sign and date.
fire extinguisher.
Oh, one of them had to be mounted to the wall, so I screwed it into the wall.
Oh,
Had a
okay.
bracket.
Down at the cabin.
Yeah, the small one with this kayak, sorry.
Oh, okay, great.
Tai Chi.
Yes. Rob Russo has contacted me about a month ago. Rob has been doing Tai Chi and martial arts in North Hero forever, and South Hero, and he does it, he's been doing it through Island Arts for a while. We used to do it up here, I used to do it with him, the system, and he would like to volunteer his time. He doesn't charge anyway, so it's a practice. He would like to volunteer his time to set up a Tai Chi program through the rec committee.
It's awesome.
We need to kind of work out all the details in the summer and the good weather, we could, and he has done it at Angles in the past. So we could do it at Angles, and for the winter, it would probably be here, so we would need to figure out whether we wanted to sponsor that or how. In the past, everybody would just chip in and pay for whatever the rental was for this, but whether we wanted to sponsor that and how much that would be, how often it would be, it still needs to be worked out. But if, at this point, yes, is it something the rec committee wants to do?
Yeah.
I would say, from my side, yes.
Yes.
I would say
Yeah.
so too, yeah. Yep.
Tim, does Diane pay rental for doing her yoga classes here?
She pays rental to the community, to the town, yes, for the community hall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know how much?
I believe it's 25 a session.
Per session,
Yeah.
See.
Yep.
I think that's something we could
Yeah.
sponsor.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you mean, it's just like, it's not like 25 per person, it's just like 25.
25,
It's
yeah.
run tables, chairs, it's more.
Mhm.
$25. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
It's- it's
Yeah.
worth it. And Rob has a good following. He does a great job. He's been doing it for, I've been doing it for
Mhm.
50 years and he's
Yeah.
been doing it longer, I think.
Yeah.
If we sponsor him to do a program like that, should we be sponsoring Diane for her? yoga classes.
Well, we have yoga classes that happen at Angles in the summer.
Yeah,
And she's here all the, she's here all the
And
time.
she does it as a business,
Yeah,
okay,
so she charges and she's never approached us.
right,
I think she's happy here.
Yeah, I think she's happy.
okay. Great.
So I will Rob couldn't be here tonight because he's taking an acupuncture class, so. But I will contact him and we will come up with a plan.
Okay.
And we'll look into the rental for this. And schedule.
Anything else with Ingalls? Anything with the footpath? All right, moving on to camps,
I had one question.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Does anybody know, maybe Tim, you know, about the state land that the marina uses it, which is fine, but does anybody know about that state land that abuts us down at the far end on that?
yeah, it's a full length.
Yeah,
It goes to,
yeah,
Basically.
no, it's next, I believe the state land is next to the road,
yeah,
between our path.
I'm not sure the marina is on the state land. I think that, I'm not sure where the border is there, but.
But where they store things, there's a, as you come out of the marina, if you're coming back this way,
Mhm.
right? There's a driveway to the right, it goes up onto a.
Yeah,
plateau.
I'm not sure
I
about
think
that.
that's state land.
It
is what
could
I've
be.
been told.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be about 70 acres that's back there. And that's the only thing I know about it is that it's state land that some people wish taxes were paid on.
Yeah, yeah, I'll bet. I was wondering if it, I really don't understand how it lays or anything, but could it make a parking? Could someone make a parking area for more public access to our beach?
Oh.
Hmm,
Hmm.
that would be interesting.
Mm.
But wouldn't you still have to go through the marina?
Not
This is all-
necessarily, depending where that border goes,
I'm not sure how.
because at
If
that,
If you went behind where that boat storage is, possibly. And I don't know, I know, when the town road ends where the pavement ends, and then it's
Right.
private road. So I don't know about we'd have to explore access to that. Over a private road. I have no idea what the agreement is for that road.
I think part of that road is actually on the state land too.
I think so too.
Yeah, because there are state posts
Oh, are
on
they?
the other side of the road,
Interesting.
in the beginning anyway, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I'm not recommending that we do anything that interferes with the relationship that
Right.
the marina has, or live there. But if there was some way we could do something that
It's an interesting thought though.
increased.
Yeah, it is.
So this is as you're driving towards the marina, that little left before you get to their workshop thing?
Yeah.
Right,
Okay,
it goes up on the
Yep.
hill, there's a
Yep.
few boats up there.
Rock
Yep.
Ridge right up
Yep.
there.
Yeah,
But you could get over to the footpath. And then
Is it-
Cedar Vale is on the other side of that.
But
Right.
doesn't it drop down to? a
It,
wet
it,
area?
it,
The wet
it,
area
it
goes-
is that wet area works.
there's a wet area, but there's a, where the, depending where the property line from the marina to the state land is,
Yeah,
you could theoretically walk along
the edge of it.
the edge of it and get to the beach.
Have you ever explored the A&R's Natural Resource Atlas?
Yeah,
Okay, you
Yeah.
should be able to find
the
the
state.
property lines.
Right.
There. If
Yeah.
I mean, they're rough because they're borrowed from the tax maps.
Exactly. I mean.
But
you
it'll-
roll it up and it's
yeah,
like,
it'll
Yeah, but
depict
where is
where
that?
they are.
Yeah.
the
Over
listers
north.
have full page things,
Yeah.
so downstairs.
No,
the
it'd be,
full page.
I think it's something to look into.
Yeah, Scott, I will get a property map of that. And sometime we can look at it and just see what we think as a next step, if we understand a little bit more about what's going on there, but that should be easily accessible to get a property map. And then we can figure out where the road is and where the marina is and that kind of stuff.
Interesting thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, anything else on the footpath? All right, Mary Jo, the nature guides.
No, they're right here, but I want to read, I got this in the mail. I'll pass it on. I'm gonna read it first. It's addressed to me, but it's for all of us. Dear Mary Jo, thank you for your hospitality in sharing Camp Ingalls with our school. Students, staff, and teachers all had a great time. I can't wait to come back again. The GIS Unified Arts teacher, and you'll see she paint, this is the art teacher. Isn't that sweet? So you can just pass that around. These are not all of them. I have duplicates of many of them. I just didn't bring them all. But I strive, whatever the past tense is, to get some for all different levels. So this is the one that, Colleen got several copies of. And, so I have 3 of these. I'll just pass them around. And the same author, Birds and Nests and Wildflowers, Blooms and Blossoms, Tracks and Scats and Signs, which are important. And this book was kind of they're all great. I mean, you could sit down and learn something from them. And this is, not just New England or the Northeast, but there's some really nice stuff in here. And I have 3 of these. I can buy more. I just wanted to see them first. And this is like for adults, older kids. And this is this one is birds, and it's Vermont birds. So this is just for us, so we can find everything around us here. And then this is Vermont trees and wildflowers. So I might want at some point, with your approval, get some more. This might not be a bad one just to have. Anyway, it's not in depth like the trees are, but you can tell from the leaves and the flowers. So that's it. And I have these pull-out ones. Those are the only ones I have of those, but the other ones all have at least one buddy, some of them 3. Turns out I own it, one of those books myself. I was going through the stuff I had out for Genevieve, and the Tracks and Scats was there, so.
That's a really nice card.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I like the picture of the
So
Long
just take-
House.
Instagram or the Facebook. Do you do that?
Yeah, well, I'm the only one, Terry and I are the only ones who can post, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
you should take a picture of that. It's really.
Put it on.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, it's lovely. It's,
Like to tell people
yeah.
you should do it.
Yeah, I will do that.
Amazon?
I don't know.
Where'd you get these, man? Amazon?
I think I got those at Phoenix. I didn't buy any from Amazon. I don't like to do business
Okay.
with them as much as I can not do it. So some of them were from these I got from Better World Books. And then those guides, and I think the little one in front of Bernie, I think I got those from Phoenix. I'd have to look at my bill. I did save it. But yeah, and this author has other ones too. So I'm going to field test them with my granddaughter this year before the camps start again, but
These are great. I would love these as a kid.
Even as an adult.
yeah,
I'm waiting for the birds of Vermont to come. I'm like, I got a few that I've been wondering.
Oh,
what the names are.
yeah, well, did you see the
It's,
yeah, it's coming, yeah.
If
So-
I find it, I'm gonna get one for.
Yeah,
somebody
these
I
are
have
cool.
for
Yeah,
Christmas. That's
I
really
think
cool.
Phoenix Books,
Okay.
and,
And
yeah,
if you talk to Renee at Phoenix Books, they might give us a deal too. She's really into helping,
okay,
communities and,
all right, it was just a man I spoke to,
yeah.
and I like doing business. with-
She's the owner, her
Nice.
husband. I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look at them a little more thoroughly this winter and see if, this one is a good one. You can't find scats and signs everywhere. I mean, in trees, because that's why what drew me to doing this is because we did a tree thing with Chip this year, and then Pauline did a lot with trees and bark. And I went and did
Very
a
nice.
little thing with her once, so it was fun. Yeah.
Great.
And I have a little container for it, a plastic container that I cleaned out, so it's a mouse proof. When I get it over there,
Very nice.
thank you. I was happy with it, and I will take a picture of that, honey.
There's a duck though that I've seen, like I have like a tiny pond like in the back of my house. It's really just like where all the water from the farm fields drains.
Mhm.
But there's a duck that like I can't get, it's not there anymore, but I haven't been able to get close enough to get a good look.
Huh.
But it's like all brown, almost like a burnt orangey brown. Like, and it's it's not in here, I don't think. But I'm wondering what it is for a while.
When I
Sounds like
can't,
an
I did,
organza.
Sounds like a female answer.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
okay.
Does it sort of have like?
like feathers, you know, like a,
I'm telling you, they're so wary. It's like
Yeah.
they hear some, like a twig snap and they are off. I can't really get very
Yeah.
close to them.
Yeah.
I know. These are great.
and thank you.
Yeah.
It was fun ordering them, actually. So, shall I think about getting some more of these or some more of any of them? Should we just hold back on, what, this was all just a little over $100, plus several at home, the duplicates. So it was pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Should we talk about it another time? I don't have to do it now, but
Well, do you think you'd be narrowing it down with your granddaughter, or you think you're gonna keep all of them?
I am
Okay.
gonna keep them all. I'm
Okay.
not gonna send any of them back because I'm sure that we can use them
Use them all.
at, nature camp and, if the school brings the kids another time, we have this to offer them, to take back to school and look to see if they wanna use that in their planning and use it with the kids and just leave them. So I think if anything, we wouldn't have enough.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how much do you wanna pre-approve? Versus?
Yeah, that would be good, cause then I wouldn't have to wait to.
How much are you thinking for?
I don't know, this was 100, so I wouldn't need any more than that, I don't think.
Another 100?
Yeah, and I think I'll just kind of see which ones, the wildflowers would be great for, yeah, and the school will be back then, in May, so.
I think they're great books.
Yeah, they
I
are.
think we should have, even more.
More copies of.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
I
right.
I would say pre-approved $300 and
That's what I was.
get, huh?
okay, all right, and get
And
more
that would give you
copies.
flexibility,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, thank you.
All right, so a motion to pre-approve?
Does Carol,
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Quick comment.
Yep.
Does Caroline have a good youth nature section at the library?
I don't know.
I don't know, I I wanna say without really knowing that it's okay. I
Yeah.
mean, she gives, when she has excess of guidebooks for adults, she just gives them to me.
Yeah.
If people bring them in for the sale. I don't know,
I think she's got a really good nonfiction section, which I think is.
I think so too. Yeah, I took out one of those crinkle root song things, what's his name? Arnosky, yeah. And so cause I have so many at home, I haven't really.
Yeah.
Look, but when I was getting books for nature camp, when I taught nature camp and preschool nature camp, I would get lots of books. But around the topic, and I never had any trouble getting a couple armloads.
Right.
So I guess the answer to that is yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say, maybe we want ongoing support, a good section, if we're getting it. So,
Yeah,
thanks.
Okay, any other comments? All in favor of pre-approval for up to $300 for additional copies of the children's books?
I
Any opposed? Okay, approved. Okay, anything else with the nature guides?
no, this is it.
Okay.
Mm.
Camp closing. I did talk to some of the select board members and I think we have the support to be doing it. closing the camp, but I think
Are we talking about closing it during?
Those are
During
trails,
camp.
yeah.
Okay, during summer.
during camp session, so it's like we're talking 15 days for maybe 6 hours a day or something like that.
If that.
Tim, you got the sense that they would support that?
I think he's
Still
got,
with us? So he's with us, Colin. And so I'm not sure whether we need to put a policy down or whether that needs to be written up. I need to follow up with that. So if we're interested in doing that and going forward with it, there seems to be a path forward. So we don't have to decide that tonight.
so no motion.
Hmm?
So no motion tonight.
Does anyone feel uncomfortable about closing it during that time frame?
No, I think it's also.
Do you want to just vote on it now, then
Yeah, I would say-
just move forward? Okay. Motion?
Make a motion that we close Camp Ingalls during the hours of the nature camp sessions.
And our,
And our.
And our session,
Let's
yeah,
just
yeah.
say
Camp.
any camp held at camping,
Yeah.
any camp
Yeah.
session held.
Or for children, right?
Children, or what about children's events with school?
right, cause I'm thinking if the school comes again, you know, I
I
mean,
think it's just a good idea to close the camp down for any, if we have kids there.
Any children's event.
Would that include pickleball and summer camp for kids?
Yeah. I mean,
No, this is, that's not
this is
an
just at
angle.
Ingles,
Only English.
Angle.
right, just to keep the area safe for the,
Well,
Kids, you've
yeah,
had a
to just-
couple
yeah,
of
We had an incident, okay, yeah, we just don't want that to happen.
we had a couple of incidents, somebody
And-
walked
and-
in too.
And that we create a gate barrier
Yeah,
to close the parking lot at those times with a sign
with the sign.
that tells people what's gonna happen.
My recollection was the way that we were thinking about doing it was instead of affirmatively, I mean, it's maybe tomato, but the idea was we were going to allow the camps to rent Ingalls exclusively for their use. Without making any kind of judgment as to whether or not another group would be allowed to do the same thing. And I think if we do any kind of gate, I think we would just want to make sure that if there has to be something like a chain or something, just in case there's an emergency and
Right.
people need to get
We
out.
just- That was our plan,
Yeah,
some sort of
okay.
chain, not even a chain.
Just a saw horse.
Just, yeah, because
With a
that's,
sign.
right, so, yeah, okay.
So Evan, one of the things though is, that's a little bit different is the camps are us. So we're sponsoring those versus renting it out. And so that
Well,
would be,
reserve, or however it is.
Okay.
Imagine it still goes on the calendar as being reserved.
yes.
You know, because I think, well, I mean, we don't have to get into it, but I think I'm comfortable voting in favor of it if if the idea is we're allowing the camps to reserve it exclusively for those use during that time period, as opposed to phrasing it as we are prohibiting other people from accessing the site. I mean, I know the end result is still the same,
Yeah.
but,
But reserving the word reserving doesn't necessarily mean that other people can't.
but it's
Park.
reserved for exclusively for camp use. Reserved exclusive, so when the camp reserves it, any camp for children reserving Ingalls, they're reserving it for the exclusive use of the
Okay.
camp.
All right.
Or other groups of kids who are not in camp, we don't want it just for our camps necessarily, I'm just thinking about the school coming. Although, I don't know. I mean, we have had that somebody walked in to the
Well, you could
building,
Do the same thing for the schools.
Right.
yeah, but
exactly.
he just said camps.
Well,
yeah.
the idea is any or
Youth
camp,
event.
school, or organization that is running an event exclusively for youth.
children, yeah.
The camp, the Ingalls at that point in time would be reserved exclusively for their use. And then the question is, I didn't know whether or not we could prohibit, then, does that mean we can prohibit someone from accessing the trails on the other person's property? That was the other question.
What do you mean?
Conservatory.
Yeah,
The what?
Well, they're landlocked essentially.
right, exactly, which
Yeah.
is the point, so if
Well,
we say.
that's the issue, because
If we say nobody else is allowed here and someone says, well, I'm not even going to the camp, I'm going.
Trying to get over there.
Yeah, I'm trying to just go over there to do my own thing in the butternut mansion.
Should hold off the vote. There's too many ifs here and buts yet that we're not.
We're gonna
Because
hear
for all
from
I know,
Doug
they
in
might say
big
they don't
time.
care, they might say, sure, close it down, we don't care, no one needs to use our trail. Our natural area while the camp's going on, but
And do we guarantee them access?
I mean, I would think if they had to get on there.
It's a
to do
partnership
something,
with them.
Yeah.
yes.
But if we just close it down and then they caught wind of it, would
Yeah.
that muddy
But
the
it's only-
relationship?
It's only a temporary, it's only just a few hours there.
We
A
can-
day.
I understand, and like I said, I'm comfortable going down this route, but I would not want to just unilaterally take action as this group without
Yeah,
consulting with someone else who shares
But
those access
doesn't that
areas.
require them to have an easement over our property to be able to access it?
I would think that they do.
I
The
wouldn't
natural
think
area, the
they
folks who run the
do.
butternut natural area, I'd be surprised if they didn't have some right to access their own property.
Well, so there is a piece of their property that comes out on the private section of the road a little bit further down.
Mhm.
So they may be able to access, I'd have to look at the property map again,
Yeah,
but they may be able to access from another location.
But we did have a conversation, a legal conversation about accessing the Nature Conservancy, right? I mean, I remember long meetings with
It's-
them years ago.
Yeah, well, I don't know if any of that's written down. We have theoretically, my recollection is we have a partnership with the Nature Conservancy and the Land Trust.
That they can use our trails to get
But
into their
I'm not
trails.
sure if it's ever been documented.
Where would we find that?
But wouldn't
Town
just have a
office?
letter
Origin.
explaining?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
First agreement.
yeah.
but if.
I mean, Nature Conservancy would just soon not have people in their property.
At all.
Right,
Land trust property.
But the Land Trust,
The Land Trust only has a little bit of
Yeah,
property. It's where the
Yeah.
floodplain forest is. I think that's
I
theirs.
think just a letter to them.
yeah, I think we need to contact
Yeah.
them and just express our concerns, and this is what we see as a solution.
Mhm.
Is this gonna bother you guys?
So I think we should hold off and vote on this. There's
Yes.
too many
Okay.
Right.
stuff going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clarifying things, yeah.
So we're wondering about land trust and Nature Conservancy access. And then also school. So we need to define what that event is really what we need, what constitutes.
Any children's programs, I would say.
Well,
Yeah.
then you could say Vins, we're closing it for Vins?
Yeah, sure, if Vince is running.
No, we don't wanna close it for Vins. You know what I mean?
Well, but that's the point, though. That was kind of the point I was making this time, right? I mean, like, if we allow one group to reserve it to the exclusion of others, we need to be prepared that another type of group is going to say, we would like to reserve.
So I don't think that would go over with the select board, to be honest.
Well,
So if
but-
Vince
but-
comes and says we're running a bird program for kids, they shouldn't be allowed to.
No,
reserve?
see, the parents are there. So the difference here is with the camps, there's no parents.
Right.
That's the
That's a
difference.
good point too.
And so
But there should
when
be
they come-
adequate other adult supervision.
With the camps,
Yeah.
we have three,
we have
we have two directors.
two adults and
Two
one
adults and a
teenager.
Right.
And the dogs came tearing at them, so it had nothing to do with lack of supervision by the adults.
But my point is, in that same situation, the dog probably isn't gonna say, each child has a parent with them, I'm not gonna go running towards them. The same issue would have resulted if the parents had been present or not. So it's not really an issue of whether or not parents are present. The issue is whether or not kids are present.
Right.
And so if there are other types of groups that are gonna be running programs for kids, we at least need to be prepared for the fact that they might want to not allow dogs either, and we need to be okay with that if one goal is consistency.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna get that. Okay, because it's public property.
And that was
And
that was the
it's
reason
sketchy
why I
to get.
was hesitant to say we're going to be barring people from this public resource, as opposed to saying, well, what we're gonna do is just allow them to reserve it exclusively for their use. Just like if we're gonna do a Tai Chi class in Ingalls, we're not gonna say, well, someone else can have a birthday party there. No, it's just for the Tai Chi class. And we're really just defining the area that people can reserve just for themselves during a specific period of time. And since the nature camp, for example, was something that took place outside, it makes a lot of sense, and on the trails, it makes a lot of sense for them to be able to reserve it exclusively for their use, because it's part of why they're reserving it. And so if there's another similarly situated organization like Vin's doing, you know, a falcon flying thing in the field with kids.
So I think we need to be more restrictive on the definition of what an event could be to do that, right?
Right.
I think we have to hone in so it isn't just anything with kids. I think we need to bring that into something pretty tight, as only these scenarios we would close it exclusively for that event.
So are we closing it for dogs, or are we closing it for
Anybody,
people? I mean, I'm just
Right.
trying to get parameters.
Yeah, because I think it's important because, you know, let's say it's not even kids, but let's just, sticking with the Vin's example, right? They want to do, and and anyone is invited. It's not just for kids, adults as well. But they have their birds there who have been rehabilitated, and they're like, you know what, dogs would really, we're gonna have it in the field out front adjacent to the parking lot, and dogs would be problematic. They could
So they
scare
do
birds.
that now. We do that.
So
now.
then-
Be
Yeah,
telling
dogs.
them to bring dogs. now.
So we allow them to ban
We're
dogs,
not-
but we don't. You know what I mean?
Well, we're not nobody's policing that, you know, it's please don't bring your dog kind of thing.
Right, but we are going to police it in this other situation.
Yeah. I think we need to carve this out better.
And I just think we need to be prepared to be consistent if we're encountering.
Totally agree. I totally agree. I just think we have to be kind of tight with
Yeah.
how we word this so that we make sure that it's focused in on what we do or don't want it to have happen.
Yeah,
And
The
it'll
other
be
thing about
passable.
It's like a VIN's program or something like that is. People come, I mean, you got 50 people, 50 families with their cars or
Yeah.
whatever,
Mhm.
and how do you know when everybody's in and when to let them out, you know, with a camp? That's pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna close the
I
parking
think
lot
that's the
between
difference.
9 and 11.
That camp, terminology of the parents drop off the kids, the rec through us, we're responsible for the safety of those kids.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
children,
there are just two adults
to your point, children only event, yeah.
Right.
that
to,
thing,
you know,
right.
there's 12 and 12 to 15 kids in the camp, so.
Yeah, that is.
But then
this
what if
is-
someone
maybe
wants
that's
to
the
have a
difference.
birthday party there?
So let's
mean,
just
it's-
take Vins though.
Yeah,
We're not responsible for those kids during Vins. We're-
true,
We're responsible
we
for the
are
kids during
during camp.
camp.
right? But we
Because-
should still care about the.
No,
kids.
I'm not.
You know what I mean? Like,
No, I'm not
it's not-
saying that at
You know,
all.
since we're not holding the bag, like, let the dogs roam, you know, but like, what if I
Let them
say,
attack.
you know, I'm gonna have a birthday party, I'm gonna invite the whole grade, it's gonna be 30 kids, it's gonna be my wife, two adults, 30 kids, and you know what, town, I'd like permission to, we're gonna go on the trails, it's gonna be a great day, we might go down to the beach, I would like permission to bar anybody else from being present during my birthday party. And then we say, no, we don't really allow that. It's only for camps and schools. And then we would say, well, why is it camps and schools? Well, we're concerned about children being outside and
Well, no,
strangers. and
Because those are
dogs.
events.
And then I would say, well, I'm concerned about that with my kids as well during my event. And then our response is, oh, well, we can have this rule when it's our event, but you can't have the rule when it's your event.
But when you have a party at Vin's, I mean, at, Camp Ingles, do you have to have insurance? Like when if I was gonna
Yes, you do.
rent the library room, I would need to prove that
Yeah.
I have insurance.
Yeah.
So with the kids, we are insuring the kids camp. At the birthday party, you are saying,
You're renting it.
You're
I,
renting it.
Yeah, but that's kind of like, that means that we're allowing, we're not allowing private people using public property to take the same precautions that the public entity would take in similar circumstances. I would look askew at that. I'd be like, wait a minute, what?
Well, here you go. Well, so if somebody's renting angles, they're renting angles,
Yeah, that's my point,
you know, so nobody else is gonna be using it.
right? And
But they
we,
could still go on the trail.
No, why? They're renting
Well,
angles.
But they're doing it now, right? I mean,
They are, but I'm saying if you rent something, you rent something, it's yours.
Well, they're renting the longhouse or the whole camp?
Well,
Well,
that's the question, that's
The
the question.
Tai Chi people might say, we want to rent the longhouse, and so that means that people can come and use the trails. It sounds like the nature camp and the schools are saying, we actually want to use the longhouse, we want to use the field, we want to use the trails. We want to rent, we want to reserve the whole thing, and we say, okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll allow people to reserve the whole thing, and then that's okay. But I think if we take a vote that says only camps and schools can do it, I think it sets it up for some inconsistency, including with other organizations that might have kids or want to bring kids, or just private people who may want to have kids there and may not want a dog running up while they're having a family reunion with a bunch of kids
So
around.
basically, we would tell them we can't rent to them then.
Or we say you can reserve the whole place.
No, because it's
That's not our
public, we're not
application here
allowing
that.
that.
Use of longhouse, yes or no? Use of the field for a tent, yes or no? Doesn't say.
Anything about the trail?
Does.
Well, why can't we just add that though? I mean, I don't know, I'm not aware of why we could prohibit someone
So,
from doing that.
If somebody's renting it, they're not guaranteed the sole use of the whole property
Unless we make it that way.
unless we make it that
Well,
way,
right,
but that's.
what I'm saying, let's make it that way.
I don't
if we're
think we're
gonna
gonna,
do
it's gonna fly,
No.
cause it's public, it's a public,
I think
if
it's
you
the-
go to the
But that was
state
my
park.
point, that was my point for my initial hesitation and not wanting to vote in favor of barring the public at large from the entirety of the Ingalls property and the Butternut Reserve. During these instances, I was in favor of saying, well, let's allow them to reserve the whole area. Be open to allowing other people to do that, but not make any decisions necessarily on what type of people should be able to do it now, because we're not getting that request. I think it's different. That's why I think you may end up in the same place at the end of the day, which is only the camp people are there. But I do think that just optically, in terms of consistency, the idea of barring the public at large versus no, this is just the camp is just reserving this for the whole camp for these hours because that's where they're running the camp.
I think the select board's gonna have trouble with it anyway, because we are barring people from using public land.
I'm just thinking of the kids' safety.
Oh, I am too.
Our
I
camp
totally
directors
understand it. I
take the
agree.
kids all the way back from the trails. They use all of the trails.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to be accosted by a person with loose dogs, it's just, I think we really have to put our foot down on this and make sure that our kids and our directors are safe. Because they're at the end of a road. There's not a whole lot of people that could help them with that situation. So we just need to make sure that they're safe. By
Yeah.
closing the park during that 3-hour period.
And I guess what I'm saying is sometimes how you do something is just as important as what you're doing. And in this situation, my personal opinion is the appropriate way to do it is we share this land with at least 2 other organizations. We should consult with them first to see if they have a problem. And then the way that I would like to phrase it is we're allowing the camp and the school to rent or reserve, whatever verb you want, the entirety of the Camp Ingalls property exclusively for camp or school use during these times. If somebody else wants to use it exclusively for their use, I think we need to be open to at least entertaining that conversation. Because they might have a similarly compelling reason to not want dogs present. It could be older individuals, it could be people with mobility limitations.
But they can go
it could be
someplace
children.
else. They could go someplace, we could reject them
Mm-hmm.
because we can't service that, right?
But we can service it by allowing them to reserve it exclusively for their use.
No, we decide not to service that.
Yeah, well, I would vote against that, and I understand if I'm outvoted on that, no vote needs to be unanimous, you could vote right now and override me, but I would be uncomfortable saying, to example, like, let's say it was the Special Olympics wanted to come and say, we would like to rent the entire property for a Special Olympics event, our individuals are mobility challenged, and we don't want dogs or other people present, and we say, we're sorry, we can't service your request. I wouldn't say that.
Or send them down to the state park.
I would not vote for that. I would not vote for turning away Special Olympic people who also might have sensitivity to dogs and could equally be injured by a large dog.
But that's not our problem, to be honest.
Well,
We're not liable.
we could make
for-
this not a problem
responsible
by
for
not
those
having a
two.
nature camp. You know what I mean? Like, nothing obligates us to make a nature camp, but we offered it.
Mhm.
And that's like I said, I'm okay not having dogs and other people there, but the way that I would do it would leave open, at a minimum, leave open the possibility that someone else with an equally compelling need could
Yeah.
rent the same public property and have the same accommodations.
I suggest we send a letter to VLT and TNC as a first step.
Yes, that's a
Yeah.
good place
Yeah.
to start.
And thinking this.
Mhm.
Maybe we should just hire a security guard.
I was thinking that maybe,
Well, yeah.
maybe that's exactly what I was thinking.
Or get volunteer assistance if we can.
Well, not too complicated.
Well,
I don't,
I think the first steps is let's contact the other entities. And, cause that might, I don't know what our agreement is actually with them.
Would they know? Is anybody there that was,
Chip line, yeah.
I was there, I can't remember, Chip and I were there, and the reason that they needed us was because there's no access to that area. So I don't think they would look fondly on keeping people out of that, but that's just me.
I think they would be fine with it.
You think so?
Yes.
Let's ask them.
Yeah, I don't know.
But asking. them-
And I don't know what the legal papers were, but
yeah, we should see if we can try
Yeah,
and find.
there
it.
were some, I'm sure, because it was a long drawn out process.
Okay, so we're gonna look into it further.
Yeah,
Okay, we had anything, well, maybe you have, the school and the PTA, are there, their fall festival and stuff?
did you get, I sent you I sent you an invoice.
Oh, I
I-
didn't see that.
You didn't, Mary Ellen sent it to me and I forwarded it to you.
Oh. I
Okay, I'll
didn't see-
look at in my computer when I get home. So, yeah, they had two bills and I don't know how much, two bills for I think 200, 250, I don't know, for
Okay.
two different things.
Okay,
One was the fall harvest and one was the Santa
okay,
thing. And, I don't think that the collected PTO has a name now, so. I'll have to talk. I see Mary Ellen every day when I pick up Genevieve, so I'll check with her about that and then I'll send you the invoice she sent me.
okay, I think in the past we've done $400, right?
200 for each, that makes
200 for
sense.
each,
Yeah.
so pre-approval for that?
Yeah,
I'll make that motion.
I second.
So up to
Pre-approve up to.
$400 for the two PTA events. Any comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Anything else with the school or PTA?
No.
All right, great ice. What do we want to do?
Back on that already.
Yeah, the first meeting is in a week or so. What do we want to do this year? So we've tried moving around the time. And we moved it earlier this time last year because of conflicting activities that were going on in the ice. And nobody showed up because it was too cold. They came later in the day.
Right.
Usually the big crowd is actually, what's her name, Diane from Green Power. There, she brings a crowd and she brings most of the people that show up, so she can actually do that on her own if she wants. But the snowshoeing might be a little harder this year, trying to get out further because of that tree being down out on the Nature Conservancy property. So I don't know what people want to do. There isn't a schedule made yet as far as what the activities are gonna be here at the time. But it's probably gonna be similar to what it was last year. So there was the
Early?
Well, here it would be fairly, they're gonna have the farmer's market, I'm sure, they're gonna have all those activities on the ice too. So the opening, if we were to do the snowshoeing without much conflict, would be earlier, but again, colder then.
Older in the longhouse than outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second thing, I think, John, you had mentioned it last year, is maybe we should be involved in something else, like the skating or something like that. You had said something
Yeah.
different.
We were just, yeah, throwing stuff around. I'm not sure what.
Mm,
But yeah, yeah, Bernie, you've been, we did the snowshoeing together and you've done it the last 2 years.
No, I used to guide
Yeah,
snowshoe track. But people like to go by themselves and come
Yeah.
at different times.
Mhm.
I'd be happy to do the snowshoeing, but just please, just a little bit later.
You might get less people because of competition.
Yeah.
Would
So
you ever want to bring snowshoes as part of the trek across?
it depends on what the
The
ice is.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, where I was thinking the same line as you, could we put snowshoes here and ask Tracy or someone if we could do a loop
Do it in the
out
back.
in the fields,
Yeah.
you know,
Because it's hard to take away from the village.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard to get
Right.
people to
Yeah,
do
that's what I
that.
mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to get them in the car and moving, yeah.
And it was cold.
It was so cold.
It's cold, no, colder in the longhouse.
She keeps
Even with,
saying that.
even with the fire going. No.
We're standing next to it.
maybe, in the meetings that, see if we could use the fields back here.
okay.
Either these or the ways.
Is there room in the, where they keep the skates in that shack behind Andy's place? They could put snowshoes in there.
They would love, I think, to have somebody man that skate shack. So if we put snowshoes there and took a turn, like made a schedule from, because I just know people borrow the skates and left them on by the lake and they stole them. Like it was a little bit, willy-nilly. I'm not, I mean,
That's too bad.
it is a shame, isn't it? Because it's such a cool thing.
Well,
But
I think
maybe there's
that-
something else we could do, is what that's
Yeah.
what you're sort of saying.
Yeah,
like-
yeah. Yeah, that shack down there works pretty well. If you wanted to store snowshoes down.
Yeah, we-
So snowshoes are at the,
Library.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it would be better if they were together.
Mhm.
So I can ask about the fields and I can ask about. Are we volunteering to man the shack?
Sure.
I would do it,
yeah,
turn. It's cold in the shack though.
Are we interested in?
It's cold inside.
Are we interested in also doing the, if we can, getting in here too, to do the,
Tabling. again.
table
Oh, and
raffle thing?
How'd that work, John?
it was good. The first year we did it, we had a lot more response. I think it was, last year. I think it's worth doing. People were interested.
We've got our brochures.
Yeah.
We probably still have a bunch of those decals.
You gave some to me. I have a stack in my house, like this
I
one.
think you've got what we've got.
Okay,
Yeah, there you go.
Can you see it?
Yeah, my computer has one too.
Chip is in.
okay. Right, anything else with Great Eyes? Anything with the library this year coming up?
In the winter?
Yeah,
Yeah, Chip always organized that. I can talk to Caroline. I'll talk to Caroline.
okay. The rental process, singles rental process,
Mary Jo and I met today.
okay.
Not as straightforward as we thought it might be.
Do you need some more time?
Well, I think. Joe had was the cleaning, the amount of $3 to put down for cleaning. And I was just going through our invoices from Ada this summer. So to open up, it was $300, but I think for every cleaning, it was 180.
Yeah,
So I think we can switch that cleaning fee to $200 or 180 or whatever, I
Mhm.
think. So
Even
that,
if they
that would
only-
include mopping the floor, wiping down the kitchen and cleaning the bathroom.
How long does that take them, do you think? 180 just, I know it's a big place, but it just feels like that's a lot per
It's a
hour.
Huge place.
I know that,
I've
But-
mopped that floor.
oh, they bring their
It
supplies
takes a
too.
long time.
yeah, I know.
They bring
Big
all the
effort.
cleaning solutions and
Yeah.
stuff too, supplies.
Yeah.
It just seems like,
That's
yeah,
what they used to.
yeah. I know, especially if someone just rented it for a couple of hours, so it would cost them less than $50 to rent it, and then they're paying $200 for cleaning. I don't think we're gonna get many buyers.
Well, you know, and it depends on whatever it is that they're planning to do.
Mhm.
You know, if they're just having a drawing program or whatever, if it's not raining outside and it's not muddy in the.
And I know,
backyard,
we talked about that, you can never
You
tell.
can never tell what happens to that floor.
Yeah.
No shoes.
Well, that's what they do for yoga. Kim does that for yoga. They
And
take
she
their
closes,
shoes off
yeah, they take their shoes off
the door,
and they clean, they wanna clean.
and she cleans.
Mhm.
You know,
Right,
She sweeps.
yeah. But sweeping is faster, even it's a big thing for sweeping too, but it's very different than,
It is. a huge
Mopping.
thing, Sweeping.
it's what?
It's a huge thing.
It is, but it's easier to take less time than mopping, cause you have to sweep first, so you're sweeping and mopping,
I do
yeah.
it often, so I
Yeah.
know that,
yeah.
so. And thank you, Tim, for putting that lock on the door,
Oh,
because I think, I was finding dog prints and mud prints on the floor.
What
often.
door is this?
The front
Well,
door.
the-
put all the
The key
comments.
code.
Oh, yeah,
So do you
Yeah,
need
that's
more
great.
time then? to-
I would say $180 to $200 for cleaning. That would be wiping down the kitchen.
mhm. And if that was a wedding, that would make sense, you know, if they were gonna use it for the whole day and then the next day they come and clean their stuff out, $180 is just part of
Right.
their preparing for their reunion or their wedding, but you know, I mean, I think if I was renting it for a couple hours, I'd need a little more clarification on also paying 180 for someone to come in and clean.
Negotiable, and then you
Yeah.
can say if you're willing to take your shoes off, if you're willing to sleep.
Yeah,
willing to
but
wipe down
then
the
we were
kitchen,
talking, somebody
Yeah.
has to,
You have to be responsible.
responsible for overseeing that.
For overseeing that and going there and checking it out afterwards and whatever, so.
But I think it's really important to have that place available for groups and for other activities. That's what has, what drove me to do this, but,
But it's also important to have a clean.
it
facility.
is, oh, I totally understand that.
Sorry.
Are we permitted just to sort of? Can someone just request a waiver of it? I mean, if someone has a proven track record of cleaning it on their own,
Like the,
like the yoga people or whatever, can we just waive it for them, but then? Or is that above our pay grade? Is that something that the town?
Can you clean it on your own if you rent it and?
Yeah.
And then somebody come and
Then someone
ask,
has to go and
And
inspect
check it, yeah,
Yeah.
but that's a lot easier
It's
than
another
cleaning,
layer.
yeah, yeah, it is.
So
I mean, it's a
who's gonna
beautiful
do
building.
that?
It's,
And it just cries out for use,
I know.
yeah.
but I'm sitting here thinking, that's not that bad. 180 bucks.
right,
For use of a really nice building, like that seemed pretty good.
Unless it's gonna be.
So the
outside clinic.
question is, should we have an hourly rental and a day rate?
Or
and
maybe
different-
just the day rate and, people have to have,
That's what we have now, it's just a
Yeah.
day rate,
right,
And what is that? I don't know how much it is.
$50.
It's $50. See, that's not that bad. I feel like.
it's more than that, isn't it?
I don't know.
It was more than that when my daughter rented it for a wedding, and we also gave them 2 days, they rented it for 1 day for the wedding, but they had the next, day to set up, we weren't, we weren't the Gestapo of that, so. God, I shouldn't use that
So
word, should I?
that-
Sorry.
So for North Yard property owners for part-time, municipal organizations or our Grand Isle schools. It's just a cleaning fee,
Wow.
so. Nonprofit organizations, same thing. It's a cleaning fee. So
And
it's not like we charge them to use the property.
And we
It's
didn't
just
charge the
we-
school for the cleaning,
Right,
because it-
exactly, because
yeah.
I did it.
yeah, and I went in there and did the bathrooms the day before. Yeah,
I don't think, I mean, $180 cleaning fee doesn't seem that bad. Well,
Good size in that place.
So is that the only thing that's up in question for the process? I can't, it
That's
was
what
so
we were
long
focused
ago,
on.
yeah,
but is there anything else that was needed to change? I can't remember what our
I would just,
discussion was.
yeah, I wanted the hourly rate.
It's a different situation.
That's a
Yeah.
totally different, and that's outlined in that
It's
too.
outlined
Yeah.
fairly clear.
Yeah.
If-
One of the other things I thought, and this is in the back of my head, was, the speed at which approvals occur was also another issue, wasn't that?
Right. Because they have to wait for a select.
For,
meeting and
yeah,
then
potentially
a month again.
a month.
And for the alcohol, right, and
Well,
Even without.
even a month for us, if somebody came tomorrow with a request, they'd have to wait till December meeting.
Yeah.
Unless we called a special meeting. So that was, I think that was another problem. Was there any other
ideas about
thing?
that?
Hmm?
Any ideas about how we?
Yeah, we can authorize someone to be the manager.
Yeah. We can write it up as a job description, and that passes under the open meeting law if it's a job description.
weren't we contemplating just allowing like the town clerk to do it? Like to be able to sign, like if the application is filled out and you pay your fee.
They don't know the schedule of what's going on at the camp usually.
Yeah,
So how they do it here
Mhm.
is they contact Tracy.
They have a whole big committee.
Yeah,
There's a whole committee that
Yeah.
does just the.
this,
rental.
yeah.
yeah.
so it doesn't have to go to the select board unless it involves alcohol.
Right, but it still could be a
It
month.
has to go to us.
Yeah, it still could be a month.
So could we assign like 2 people to make a decision?
Yeah, we can write up a job description. Like I said, if it's listed under the open meeting law
Yeah.
umbrella thing, you can have people have job descriptions within
Okay,
that are
so
given
they can-
tasks,
right.
so we could write that up, yes.
That would make sense.
That would make sense,
That would-
yeah.
So why not between now and next meeting, we kind of come up with what that is, so we can get everybody to approve it at the next meeting?
Okay, I think that sounds good.
Was there anything else related to it that needed to be changed?
Well, do we want to do hourly rates? We might not want to, but
Hourly rates for cleaning,
no, for
Rental
rentals.
is it.
I think that, I don't think that there is a charge other than the cleaning charge. I'm pretty sure there isn't.
So that people can just rent it for an hour or two and just pay the
It's the
cleaning.
charge.
Yeah, it's like $200 or whatever. It's a little bit, it's not the 180, isn't it like 200 or something?
300,
It was
it's
$300.
the $300.
300.
So. I think we need to be pretty firm in terms of the cleaning fee. I don't wanna clean that.
No, I know, no one wants to clean it, Bernie. It's a huge place.
Yeah. Do clean it after that.
Okay, so I'll put
Unless
this,
there, unless people stay outside. Carol was interested in a plein air park.
This is a bathroom though, and if it's money you're tracking into
There's
the,
the bathroom in the field cabin.
yeah, that's true. Good point. Yep. Okay,
all right,
that bypasses the cleaning fee,
Yeah.
so they could just use it for free, basically.
Yeah.
What you're saying, right?
Right,
so
as long as it.
we don't
fits
clean
schedule.
the bathroom
Yeah.
and the. Did I hear that finger and I missed something?
It never gets used, so.
It would if that was the only bathroom
Yeah,
available, I'm telling you it would.
Ada doesn't clean. the bathroom.
Oh, got it. Okay.
He doesn't clean that bathroom. either.
Oh, got it. Why don't I have her do it?
I don't know. Just sort of-
She doesn't clean the bathroom?
Not in the field cabin.
Oh, just in the
She
field.
doesn't clean the field cabin.
For an ex-teacher, you have a very quiet voice, Bernie. I
Mm.
couldn't, I can't hear you a lot.
All right, so so there's a few things that still need to be worked out, and then we can
Yeah.
talk about that job. How we define it so that it passes
It's
by.
not like hordes and hordes of people use the bathroom.
No.
So when I clean it, I just wipe it.
Okay,
Not like I'm.
Yeah.
But I just wipe it.
So we'll-
The toilet's flushed after the kids have been in there, you know.
Clean the
but
surfaces.
they
So
have
we'll
to
put
use
this on
whole
the
roll of
agenda.
Toilet paper,
Yes,
put it down at the, you know.
or paper towels. and-
so I'll put this on the agenda for next,
Yeah.
okay. Town report, we haven't done the December 23rd. Do the town report, we only got one page, I think, per usual. Is that something Bonnie? Sure. Want to take on?
Sure.
I think the way we've done it in the past is that people have sent kind of a list.
I've just looked at the calendar. The previous calendar and made a list of the things and it had such a small and nice space and you can so many things. Do we have any pictures? So you just have to make sure it's printed.
You may not have room for pictures.
No.
We have room for pictures.
You know,
That would be lovely, but. Yeah.
And they're, oh, font has to be
Here's our report, bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
12-point font.
Yeah, tiny font.
No, 12-point is
12 point
big.
Pretty big.
Arial 12.
That's,
What?
that's
Well,
because,
that's the town report requirement.
I have the requirements too, because I do one for my mentoring. So yes, I'll be happy to do it, but I will put a picture in it, just
Okay.
to be
Good.
Cool.
passive aggressive. Maybe this.
Very good.
And I'll send it to you, Gina, you'll tell me what you think of it.
Yep.
So, do you
Yep.
talk about that?
All right. Handyman, I think you were gonna ask.
You know, I did
Perhaps
ask.
You were
our-
gonna
yeah,
ask,
the-
yeah,
Our neighbor,
Yeah.
he's
Mills?
way too busy. In the summertime, he's got too much going on.
I did talk to Joe Kaminsky, who was at an event. And that's something that he would do,
excellent.
so.
There.
He's really good.
What's his last name?
Kaminsky.
Any pickleball update?
Well, all the courts are closed except nights. Nights is open, it opened October 4th or 5th. I played there today. It's gonna stay open until the snow flies down.
Wow.
And I hear you've had a lot of people there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all the others are shut down. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're gonna have a choice and you gotta drive a few miles, might as well go to nights. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Have you been up there? You look, have you seen?
Oh, yeah, when I walked back there, took the trail and we took a side view of the, nice.
It's beautiful. For 137,000, we got a lot for our money. It's beautiful.
It's great. All right, there's 5 invoices I think I sent out. So we'll do it as one. So first one, Sharp Cut. It was for $965 that I sent out today. 3 of those are for footpath mowing, which I have pre-approval for, but the rest of that is for the actual work at Ingalls. So that's $965. Murray's closing down Ingalls, $275. Robinson's, Terry got painting for Blazing for $27.55. And then Bernie got dogs have to be on leash signs from Vistaprint, which was $75.70. So I'm going for approval of all 5 of those.
You put the total?
Oh, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I get everybody? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep.
Very cool.
I
Oh, I haven't totaled
So
it.
can I just do, when I say pre-approval of total of I can total
Oh, this is not pre-approval, this is actually approval of invoices.
it, okay,
Yep, you can total it.
Okay.
965, 275,
That's right.
2755, and 757.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, those are approved. Pre-approvals, is there anything that we need to do for pre-approvals? There was something I was thinking we needed. I didn't.
the nature guidebooks.
I think we
I
already
think we
did
already
that.
approved them.
But there was something else that we were talking about earlier that I thought we could give approved. No, I'm not remembering.
Did it have something to do with that $1,400 surplus we seem to have?
Mm-mm. I haven't heard from the state park yet on their park passes. So that will have to wait until next month. Anybody think of anything that we could use pre-approvals for? Anything happening in the next few weeks?
What the book is.
I don't know what I was thinking. All right, I sent out an updated money thing. You can see estimated details down on the third chart. Based on that, we have like 1,000 play, but any of this can change in the estimated details.
Right.
And then we have $250 also from Kim that we may want to, maybe we should use this for the books.
That's a good idea.
We talked about that when we decided that that was something you wanted to tell her we used that money for.
Okay,
And that's fine, I think that's a great
I think
idea.
we'd
Okay.
be thrilled.
I think she would be, yeah.
okay,
Great.
then we'll put it in through that way. I'll have her. Oh, that's what, did we wanna, pre-approve the bench, but I think we discussed waiting, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was what I was thinking of. That's, all right.
So the books is still pre-approved for 300,
Yep.
even though
Mhm.
Kim might not have given us that much.
Yeah,
Okay.
cause what I'll do is I'll ask Lisa just to split between the.
Yeah, sure,
Pay
it's fine.
part of it and
Just,
part
I
of
would
it,
just
yeah.
want to be clear, that's all.
Yeah. There is one thing that I did talk to her about. That I don't know whether this would fly or not. So we're part of the general fund, and this gets back to Scott, you saying, where do we get money, right? And one of the problems is that in the past, it's been a state law that any money you did use had to go back to pay for next year. There wasn't any discretion at all. But now the select board does have discretion with that money and can make decisions. The law has changed, they can make decisions. So when I was talking to Lisa, she was saying we're under the general budget. We don't have a separate budget like the library does. But we're tracked separately, even though we're part of the general. And anything that's over in one year, the select board gets to decide what to do with that money for the next year. So she was saying there may be an opportunity for us to talk to them and see if we can take any money that we don't use this year and have her track it to roll over for us, not into the general fund, because our money the last year that we were over went into who knows what. But maybe there's a way that we could, if we don't spend it all, we can roll it over and have it tracked under our account and then we can
We
use
used
it.
to do that.
Well, it was against the law for a while.
But,
so-
this was before.
Way before,
before
okay,
that. And we would, and that, that was when we first, were part of this and, so I would put in a request at the end of the year to the select board to roll over the surplus. And for the first couple of years, they would just roll it over when it was without a problem. Then, there must have been a change in the law. We had to roll it over for a specific purpose.
mhm,
And then the law changed again and you
nothing,
couldn't roll it over. And I don't know if it was the law that changed or the accountant, the accounting, the auditing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't allow it. The
Yeah.
auditor wouldn't allow it.
that's part of the problem, right?
So, yeah, we we did that and, you know. And even if we had to ask to roll it over for a specific project, we do have projects.
Yeah.
So,
So something to keep in mind.
yeah, I think we should, if we can do that again, that's great.
Yep, because it's hard to fit these projects within spring, like we've got, the next project we gotta do by spring, kind of by the end of
And, you
June.
know, in spring is tough, cause it, you know, it's, you know,
Wet.
it's wet and it's muddy and then May, all of a sudden we can do it, but then by June 6th, we have to have. you know,
All the,
all
all the
all
money.
the invoices in, so. But yeah, if we can do that again, that's great.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to her and see what it would take.
Mm.
We might need approval to get that, but
Yeah.
we'll see if that would be an option for us instead of having. And then road donations and stuff do roll over and we can take in donations here too. From anywhere. So instead of setting up a potential separate friends of, we could take in donations too. If we wanted to do something in that line.
And that's good, cause that's new too.
Cause that is new. right.
Yeah, and those would roll over, those are not year-to-year things,
Right.
so those would roll over, so those are options
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Something to think about. Anything else before we close?
Oh, you know, I was thinking today that since the superintendent is going to send home a secure gun storage letter, I thought I would ask her if we can send home brochures next year.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, yeah, why not? Cause she seems to have a little more, she's more open. It's not that Clark wasn't open-minded, but he just wouldn't take a chance, you know, and stick his neck out. And I think she is, so,
talking about camp brochures?
yeah.
For
I- there was-
we have a gun brochure? What?
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
That's-
I thought of that after our meeting when you said that we were
Thank you.
getting out of towners and I thought she's right. And I thought, I'm just gonna ask Lisa. Cause you know, it's ridiculous not to send them home.
Yeah.
It's absurd. So I'll get in touch with her this week.
Okay, anything else? All right, motion to adjourn?
We'll make that motion.
Second. Any other comments? All in favor? Any opposed?
Okay.
Okay.
lot of work here.
Don't.
Well, I mean, it's funny, I thought this would be
But
really.
it just looks like a weird.
I have
thought.
not to
In my
say-
head, I was like, wait a minute, what?